the great unknown. That is where we are right now with where the Bitcoin price is sitting really high. And it's such a big unknown that even those in some of the driver's seats, they have a blindfold on. So let's take it off and put some Visine in. It's about to get clear because it's time for Chico Crypto. First, let's talk about the Bitcoin price, and of course the first episode with my sweet new cut, pulling out that price chart. The unthinkable was completed and BTC broke through 20K, and me as a man of my word on Wednesday took to a live stream and chopped the hair off, which has been growing for over 2 years now. I made the bet in December of 2018 when BTC was at all-time lows for this cycle of just $3,000. And I'm turning that chopped off hair into a wig, which I don't know what I'm going to do with that wig yet, but now it's time for this beard. It's not getting chopped off until BTC reaches 100K. 2021, in 4 years, 10 years, never? Well, here we go into the beard unknown. But regarding the crypto unknown, Brian Armstrong's tweet, which shook the crypto world only 3 weeks ago, is starting to ripple once again. And this ripple comes from someone very close to Brian and his company Coinbase. The other P in the USDC pod, Jeremy Allaire, CEO of Circle. Old Jeremy was on a video podcast interview with Messari Crypto yesterday, and he brought it up once again, this time with more clarity. Let's watch now.
Let's just talk about the G7 right now, have made an agreement to lock down how people can interact with self-custodied and unhosted wallets and DeFi. They've made a decision that they want to lock it down, and they're rolling that out as we speak. And I think that is a very major issue for the industry. It affects Bitcoin. It affects every crypto asset. It affects every token on every exchange, every token on every DeFi exchange, and it affects USDC as well. And so industry needs to mount a fight on that right now. Because I think as the Secretary of Treasury leaves office, he's going to try and punch the crypto industry in the face. And I think that this is going to require a lot of mobilization because I think that the rule sets are completely unreasonable that we're likely to see, and likely will end up in litigation with the U.S. government.
Yikes. G7 have made an agreement to lock down crypto, including self-hosted, self-custody, and hardware wallets and DeFi, and they are rolling it out. And then he specifically mentioned the Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin Snoochie Boochies.
Snoochie Boochies.
Here is what Snooch was coming to do.
Because I think as the Secretary of Treasury leaves office, he's going to try and punch the crypto industry in the face.
Now here's what I said on December 9th in this video. Coinbase IPO plans falling apart? Brian Brooks is loyal to Steve Mnuchin. If Brian Brooks doesn't secure his OCC spot and is confirmed by the Senate soon, they will blow cryptocurrency up on the way out. Like I said then, Mnuchin, those guys, they're not friends of cryptocurrency if they are not in the driver's seat. If they aren't, they will attempt to blow this thing up as they do not believe in the freedom of wealth. They believe in wealth in their pockets, and that's it. But let's get back to the G7. Jeremy said they have an agreement to do these abysmal regulations. Well, that agreement came December 7th when Mnuchin met with the G7, and the press release specifically mentions the need to regulate cryptocurrencies. Now remember, Brian Armstrong's initial tweet came in late November. Those were the first words about these regulations, and Brian said nothing about the G7. Now after the meeting, Jeremy Allaire of Circle, tied to the hip with Coinbase, is talking about the exact same thing, but this time mentioning the G7. And this is scary because the G7 is an allegiance between 7 of the most powerful developed countries in this world. They meet on a regular basis to discuss how they will all move forward with keeping utter control over all their citizens. Now, on a single day after the G7 met, that day, December 7th, one of the nations, France, decided to do something. December 8th, the block dropped the article. France is on the verge of imposing mandatory KYC rules for all crypto transactions. Yeah, in France, they are not only getting stricter with crypto companies, they are getting stricter with the actual transactions, mandating full KYC for every single one, even crypto to crypto. So why is this a very, very interesting move? Well, as you saw from Brian's tweet and Jeremy Allaire's spoken words, they are going after self-hosted, self-custodied cryptocurrency wallets, which includes hardware ones like the biggest name in the hardware game, Ledger. And guess where Ledger is located? Well, according to Ledger's wiki, none other than Paris, France, with production facilities there too. Isn't that just convenient? They all talking about this regulation with hardware wallets, self-custody, and then you look at timelines. Brian speaks of self-hosted regulations November 25th. December 7th, G7 meets to discuss regulations. December 8th, the first of the G7 countries, France, announces incoming regulations which may affect Ledger, one of the largest providers of hardware wallets. And then, just yesterday, December 17th, Jeremy Allaire is ringing the self-hosted alarms once again. So what the freaking funk is happening? Could these rocketing markets just be those with a clearer view than us, knowing the party is almost over and pulling off the last hoorah? Well, let me give you my honest thoughts. Yes, they are pulling off a major hoorah. Just look at CoinLib stats on Bitcoin trading USDT versus USD. It's ridiculous. Close to 60% USDT. Why is this weird? Well, we supposedly have so much more institutional interest and investment, aka cash money, coming into the system. Who doesn't play with USDT? These institutions. And compared with last time we got to these 20K levels 3 years ago, look at CoinLib. USDT was not dominating, yet there was no institutional interest. So a hoorah from the whales, insiders who understand regulations could be coming. It's a bleak outlook, right, Tyler? The end is nigh. Well, I'll tell you, the party isn't over just yet. Remember, Jeremy called for a fight, and if you go to Brian Armstrong's Twitter, you see there is a fight. Jeremy sent letters to the Treasury, congressmen writing their oppositions to this, and Catherine Huan, former prosecutor for the Silk Road, even supporting the Congress member's opposition letter. Like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty, even from those in the driver's seats more powerful than you or I. Which there would be, especially from people like Katie Huan, when there is also news circling that goes like this. Trump is considering a pardon for Ross Ulbricht, the creator and face of the Silk Road. Katie was one of those who prosecuted members of the US government tied to the Silk Road in 2013-2014. Katie confused, Jeremy confused, Brian confused, you confused, I confused. Let's crack down on crypto on the way out, but let's free Ross Ulbricht at the same time. Sure doesn't make a lick of sense to me. But even with this uncertainty, things are moving forward as planned, and this gets into why the party isn't over. Midday yesterday, news broke that Coinbase had announced their IPO after 7 months of silence regarding the topic. Coinbase officially goes Wall Street, and in my opinion, a dark day for crypto, but not bad for this run. Coinbase, they were trying to time the markets with their IPO, as they want to go live in the heat of a bull run. It's not coincidental that we break 20K and they announce it. It's timing. So the markets are not going to fall off a cliff anytime soon. Then tell me why this is a dark day for crypto. Well, there are no details released regarding this IPO, but I'll tell you exactly how it's going to go. Direct listing, not the traditional IPO route, which means less hoops. They can do it ASAP, probably Q1 2021. Direct listing also means no lockups on shares, and those who are investors can cash out and cash out quick. So where will Coinbase coin be listed? Well, the place pushing for direct listings, of course, testing them on the exchange just a couple months ago. That is the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE. who are, of course, early investors in Coinbase, all the way back in 2015 with Kelly Loeffler listed as investment contact below. Well, ain't that a coinkadink? Coinbase just bent the knee to Wall Street. It's on the ground. They started bending the knee in 2015 by taking money from them, but it's official now. They could have tokenized themselves and went true crypto, but they went backwards in time and created paper coin shares. Maybe there's a bigger play here I just don't see, but I'm gonna go along for the 2021 ride. Cheers. I'll see you next time.